First Contact and the Galactic Challenge. The day Earth made first contact with alien life changed everything. It wasn't the explosive, Hollywood-style encounter many had imagined. Instead, it came in the form of a message, transmitted across vast distances of space, picked up by radio telescopes around the globe. Dr. Samantha Chen, lead scientist at the SETI Institute, was the first to decode the message. Her hands shook as she read the translation aloud to her team. "Greetings, Earth. We are the Galactic Council. Your species has been observed and deemed ready for contact. Prepare for visitation." Within days, sleek silver ships appeared in Earth's orbit. The visitors called themselves the Zirconian, emissaries of the Galactic Council. They were tall, willowy creatures with iridescent skin and large, multifaceted eyes. Their arrival sent waves of excitement and fear across the planet. World leaders gathered in New York for a historic meeting with the alien delegates. Dr. Chen, now thrust into the role of humanity's chief translator, stood beside the Secretary General of the United Nations as the Zirconian leader, Vala, addressed the assembly. "Humans of Earth," Vala's melodic voice echoed through the chamber, translated in real time by Dr. Chen. "We welcome you to the galactic community. But entrance comes with a price. A test, if you will, to prove your worth." The room fell silent. Volo continued, "For millennia, our people have sought to terraform a planet in the Andromeda Galaxy. Its harsh conditions have resisted all our efforts. This is your challenge. Succeed where we have failed. Terraform the planet we call Nexus, and you'll be granted full membership in the Galactic Council, with all the benefits it entails. Fail, and Earth will remain isolated, a primitive world unworthy of galactic citizenship." Murmurs of disbelief rippled through the audience. The Secretary General stepped forward. "And if we refuse its challenge?" Vola's multifaceted eyes glimmered. "Then you choose isolation. No trade, no shared knowledge, no protection from the dangers that lurk in the depths of space. The choice is yours." As the implications sank in, Dr. Chen noticed something in Vala's tone, a hint of smugness. She couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to this challenge than met the eye. In the days that followed, debates raged across the globe. Some argued it was a trap, a way to exhaust Earth's resources on an impossible task. Others saw it as humanity's greatest opportunity, a chance to prove themselves on the galactic stage. In the end, the decision was made. Humanity would accept the challenge. A new agency was formed, the Nexus Terraforming Initiative, NTI. The best minds from every nation were recruited. Dr. Chen found herself appointed as the chief liaison between the NTI and the Zirconian advisors. 6 months after first contact, the first human expedition departed for Nexus. Led by Commander Jack Harper, a veteran astronaut with a reputation for thinking outside the box, the team included experts in various fields: geology, atmospheric science, biology, and engineering. As their ship approached Nexus, the true scale of their task became apparent. The planet was a hellscape. Toxic storms raged across its surface, scouring the barren rock. The atmosphere was a choking mix of sulfur compounds and carbon dioxide. Temperatures swung wildly between scorching days and freezing nights. "My God," whispered Dr. Elena Rodriguez, the team's atmospheric specialist, as she studied the initial readings. "How are we supposed to make this habitable?" Commander Harper's voice came over the intercom, steady and determined. "One step at a time, people. We didn't come all this way to give up at the first hurdle." The team set up their base camp, a series of pressurized domes that would serve as their home for the foreseeable future. As they worked, Zirconian observers watched from their orbiting ship, silent and enigmatic. Weeks turned into months. The human team tried method after method to begin the terraforming process. They attempted to seed the atmosphere with genetically engineered algae to begin oxygen production. The algae died within hours. They tried to kickstart a water cycle by melting the planet's ice caps. The water evaporated almost instantly in the harsh conditions. With each failure, the Zirconian observers would send the same message. The Galactic Council has attempted this approach. It does not work. Frustration mounted. Dr. Chen, monitoring progress from Earth, could sense the team's morale dropping with each report. But she also noticed something else. The Zirconians seemed pleased with the failures. It was subtle but unmistakable. During one of her regular briefings with Vala, Dr. Chen decided to probe deeper. These conditions on Nexus, she began cautiously, they seem particularly challenging. Has the Galactic Council really been trying to terraform this planet for millennia? Vala's eyes shimmered. The Council has invested considerable resources into this project. It is most important to us. There it was again, that hint of something hidden. Dr. Chen's suspicions grew. She began to dig, poring over every piece of data the Zirconians had provided about Nexus and their previous attempts. Meanwhile, on Nexus, the human team was reaching a breaking point. Nothing they tried seemed to make a dent in the planet's hostile environment. During a particularly violent storm, part of their base's shield failed, exposing one of the domes to the toxic atmosphere. Quick thinking and Harper's leadership prevented casualties, but equipment was damaged, and spirits were at an all-time low. As the team huddled in the remaining domes, running emergency repairs, Dr. Rodriguez made an offhand comment. You know, it's almost like this planet is actively fighting against us. Commander Harper, who had been staring out at the raging storm, suddenly turned. Say that again. Rodriguez blinked. I said it's like the planet is fighting us. Why? Harper's eyes lit up with a spark of an idea. What if it is? Not the planet itself, but something on it. What if there's some form of life here that we haven't detected, something that's adapted to these conditions and is resistant to change? The team fell silent, considering the implications. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, their biologist, spoke up. But we've run countless scans. We haven't found any signs of life. No signs of life as we understand it, Harper corrected. But what if there's something here so alien, so different from what we know, that our instruments can't detect it? As the team on Nexus began to explore this new theory, back on Earth, Dr. Chen made a breakthrough of her own. Hidden in the vast amount of data the Zirconians had provided was a pattern. The failed terraforming attempts weren't random. They followed a specific sequence, almost like a protocol. Dr. Chen whispered to herself. They're following a preset protocol. The realization hit her like a thunderbolt. The Zirconians weren't trying to succeed. They were going through the motions, following a predetermined set of steps designed to fail. But why? What was the purpose of this elaborate charade? As Dr. Chen prepared to share her findings with the UN Security Council, she received an urgent transmission from Nexus. Commander Harper's face appeared on the screen, his eyes wild with excitement. Dr. Chen, we found something incredible. We need to talk securely. I think we might have just changed everything. The transmission cut off abruptly. Dr. Chen stared at the blank screen, her mind racing. Whatever Harper had discovered, combined with her own revelations, could turn the entire Nexus project on its head. As she hurried to establish a secure link with Nexus, Dr. Chen couldn't shake the feeling that humanity was on the brink of uncovering a truth far bigger than they had ever imagined. The real challenge, it seemed, was just beginning. Humanity's unexpected solution. Dr. Samantha Chen paced nervously in the secure communications room, waiting for the connection with Nexus to stabilize. When Commander Harper's face finally appeared on the screen, she could see the mix of excitement and anxiety in his eyes. Dr. Chen, what I'm about to tell you might sound crazy, but I need you to hear me out, Harper began. I'm all ears, Commander. And I have some revelations of my own to share, Chen replied. Harper nodded and launched into his explanation. We've discovered life on Nexus, but not in any form we initially recognized. The entire planet is alive, Dr. Chen. The storms, the temperature fluctuations, even the toxic atmosphere, it's all part of a single planet-wide organism. Chen's eyes widened. That's incredible. But how did you discover this? It started with an accident, Harper continued. During a routine soil analysis, Dr. Tanaka's equipment malfunctioned, sending out an unusual electromagnetic pulse. The planet reacted. The storms intensified, but in a pattern. It was communicating, Dr. Chen. We've been trying to terraform a sentient being. The implications were staggering. Chen shared her own discoveries about the Zirconians' predetermined failure protocol. As they pieced together the puzzle, a disturbing picture emerged. They knew, Chen whispered. The Zirconians knew about the living planet. This whole challenge was never about terraforming. It was about genocide, Harper finished grimly. They've been trying to kill a sentient planet, and they wanted us to do their dirty work for them. The revelation sent shockwaves through both teams. On Earth, Dr. Chen immediately brought the information to the UN Security Council. The debate was fierce. Some argued for immediately ceasing all terraforming attempts and confronting the Zirconians. Others feared the consequences of accusing such a technologically advanced species of attempted genocide. Meanwhile, on Nexus, Harper's team worked tirelessly to establish communication with the living planet. Dr. Rodriguez repurposed atmospheric monitoring equipment to generate complex electromagnetic pulses, mimicking the patterns they'd observed in the planet's reactions. Progress was slow and frustrating. The planet's responses were alien, difficult to interpret, but gradually patterns emerged. The team began to understand that the harsh conditions were the planet's immune system, a defense mechanism against perceived threats. As Earth's leaders debated their next move, Harper made a bold decision. During their next scheduled communication with the Zirconian observers, he revealed their discovery. The reaction was immediate and alarming. The Zirconian ship abruptly cut all communication and began powering up its weapons systems. They're going to attack, Dr. Tanaka shouted, monitoring the Zirconian ship's energy readings. Harper's mind raced. They were defenseless against the advanced alien weaponry. Unless... Everyone, into the storm shelters now, he ordered. As his team scrambled to safety, Harper ran to Dr. Rodriguez's makeshift communication array. His fingers flew over the controls, sending out a desperate plea to the only ally they had, the living planet itself. The response was beyond anything they had imagined. The planet's storms coalesced into a swirling vortex of unimaginable power. Lightning arced across the sky, striking the Zirconian ship with pinpoint accuracy. The alien vessel's shields flickered and failed under the onslaught. Back on Earth, Dr. Chen watched in awe as the satellite feed showed the Zirconian ship retreating, limping away from Nexus. The immediate threat had passed, but the implications of what had transpired were enormous. Humanity had not only discovered a form of life beyond anything they had imagined, but they had also uncovered a conspiracy that spanned the galaxy. In the days that followed, Earth's leaders worked tirelessly to formulate a response. The decision was made to go public with the information, both to their own population and to the wider galactic community. Dr. Chen found herself once again standing before the UN, this time addressing not just Earth's leaders, but representatives from a dozen alien species who had arrived in the wake of the revelations. We came to Nexus expecting to prove ourselves by transforming a planet, Chen began. Instead, we discovered that true intelligence means recognizing and respecting life in all its forms, no matter how alien it may seem to us. She went on to propose a radical new approach. Instead of terraforming Nexus, humanity would lead an effort to communicate with it, to learn from it, and perhaps to find a way to coexist with it. The response from the galactic community was mixed. Many species, it seemed, had their own hidden reasons to fear or resent the Zirconians. Earth's stand against them had shifted the balance of power. On Nexus, Harper's team continued their efforts to communicate with the living planet. Slowly, they began to unravel its vast consciousness, its eons-long history, and its unique perspective on the universe. Dr. Rodriguez made perhaps the most startling discovery of all. The planet's not just alive, she explained during one of their regular briefings with Earth. It's growing. Given enough time, it might even be capable of movement through space. We might be looking at the larval form of something bigger. The implications were mind-boggling. If Nexus was indeed some form of cosmic lava, capable of eventually moving through space, it could explain the Zarkonians' desperate attempts to destroy it. Such a being, fully grown, could alter the balance of power in the galaxy. As humanity grappled with these revelations, they found themselves in an unexpected position. They had become the protectors of Nexus, the intermediaries between this cosmic life form and the wider galactic community. It was a role that would challenge them, push the boundaries of their understanding, and ultimately reshape their place in the universe. The terraforming project that was meant to prove humanity's worth had instead become a journey of discovery, diplomacy, and cosmic responsibility. As Dr. Chen looked out at the assembled galactic representatives, she felt a mix of pride and trepidation. Humanity had passed a test they never knew they were taking. Now, the real work was just beginning. We came to the stars looking for new worlds to shape, she concluded her address. Instead, we found a universe more complex, more alive, and more interconnected than we ever imagined. Our challenge now is not to change these new worlds, but to change ourselves, to grow, to learn, and to become worthy stewards of the cosmic wonders we encounter. As applause filled the chamber, Chen knew that humanity's greatest adventure was just beginning. The stars awaited, filled with mysteries, challenges, and forms of life beyond their wildest dreams. And humanity, with its unique blend of curiosity, adaptability, and compassion, was ready to face it all. The alien resistance. In the months following Earth's revelation about Nexus, the galaxy was in turmoil. The Zarkonians, once seen as benevolent leaders of the Galactic Council, were now viewed with suspicion and hostility. Many alien species came forward with their own stories of Zarkonian manipulation and deceit. Meanwhile, humanity's reputation soared. Their discovery and protection of Nexus had cast them as champions of life and defenders of the innocent. But with this new status came new dangers. Dr. Samantha Chen, now serving as Earth's ambassador to the reformed Galactic Council, received an urgent message from Commander Harper on Nexus. "We've detected multiple ships entering the system," Harper reported, his face grim. "They're not Zarkonian, and they're not responding to hails." Chen's heart raced. How many? At least a dozen. Different designs, probably from various species. They seemed to be working together. Before Chen could respond, alarms blared in the background of Harper's transmission. His eyes widened in shock. They're attacking. Not us. They're attacking Nexus itself. The screen went dark as the connection was lost. Chen sprang into action, alerting Earth's leadership and their new alien allies. But she knew help would take time to arrive. Nexus and the human team were on their own. On the surface of the living planet, chaos reigned. The alien fleet bombarded Nexus with weapons of incredible power, designed to penetrate deep into the planet's core. Harper and his team worked frantically to re-establish their communication link with the planet's consciousness. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, her hands flying over the controls of their makeshift communication array, shouted over the din, "It's not working. The attack is disrupting the electromagnetic fields we use to communicate." Harper gritted his teeth. They needed a new approach, and fast. His eyes fell on Dr. Yuki Tanaka, who was staring intently at a readout of the planet's vital signs. "Yuki, what is it?" Harper asked. Tanaka looked up, her eyes shining with a mix of fear and excitement. "The planet, it's changing. These readings, I think it's trying to defend itself, but it doesn't know how." An idea struck Harper like a bolt of lightning. "It doesn't know how to fight, but we do." He turned to his team. "Everyone, listen up. We're going to teach a planet how to defend itself." The plan was audacious, bordering on insane. Using their limited resources, the team began to create a series of controlled explosions and electromagnetic pulses across Nexus's surface. They weren't trying to harm the planet. They were showing it patterns, teaching it how to focus its incredible energy. At first, nothing seemed to happen. The alien fleet continued its relentless assault, and Nexus shuddered under the impact. But then slowly the planet began to respond. Massive storms formed with unnatural speed, spinning into cyclones that reached up into the atmosphere. Bolts of energy, far more focused than anything they'd seen before, lashed out at the attacking ships. The ground itself seemed to ripple, sending shockwaves that disrupted the aliens' targeting systems. In orbit, the attacking fleet found themselves in a battle they hadn't anticipated. Several ships, caught off guard by Nexus's counterattack, were disabled or destroyed. The others began to retreat, their carefully coordinated assault thrown into disarray. As the last of the alien ships fled the system, a cheer went up from the human team on Nexus. They had done the impossible. They had taught a planet to defend itself. But their victory was short-lived. As the adrenaline wore off, the true cost of the battle became clear. Much of their equipment was damaged or destroyed. Worse, the attacks had destabilized large portions of Nexus's surface. The planet was wounded, and they had no idea how to help it heal. When they finally re-established communication with Earth, Dr. Chen was waiting anxiously for news. "We've identified some of the attacking species," she informed them. "Many of them have histories of conflict with the Zirconians. They saw Nexus as a potential weapon, one they wanted to control or destroy before it could be used against them." Harper nodded grimly. "So we're caught in the middle of an interstellar power struggle." "It's worse than that," Chen continued. "The Zirconians are using this attack as justification for a military buildup. They're claiming that only they can protect the galaxy from dangerous anomalies like Nexus." The implications were clear. The Zirconians were positioning themselves as the galaxy's protectors, using the very being they had tried to destroy as an excuse to consolidate power. As Harper's team worked tirelessly to help Nexus recover, they grappled with the enormity of their situation. They had saved the living planet from immediate destruction, but in doing so, they had painted a target on both Nexus and Earth. Dr. Rodriguez, monitoring Nexus's vital signs, made a startling discovery. "Commander, look at this," she called out, pointing to a series of redouts. "The planet's core, it's changing. The energy patterns are unlike anything we've seen before." Harper studied the data, his brow furrowed. "What does it mean?" "I'm not sure," Rodriguez admitted. "But if I had to guess, I'd say Nexus is evolving. The attack, our defense, it's accelerated some kind of process. We might have jump-started the next phase of its life cycle." The revelation added a new layer of urgency to their mission. Not only did they need to protect Nexus from external threats, but they also had to prepare for whatever changes the living planet might undergo. Back on Earth, Dr. Chen found herself navigating an increasingly complex political landscape. Many alien species looked to humanity for leadership, impressed by their handling of the Nexus situation. Others viewed them with suspicion, seeing them as upstarts upsetting the galactic balance of power. In a private meeting with Earth's leaders, Chen laid out the situation bluntly. "We're at a crossroads," she explained. "We can try to back away, to extricate ourselves from galactic politics, or we can embrace our new role, stand up for Nexus and other vulnerable beings in the galaxy." The debate was heated, but in the end, the decision was clear. Humanity would not abandon Nexus or shrink from its newfound responsibilities. As the meeting concluded, Chen received an urgent message from Nexus. Her eyes widened as she read it, then she looked up at the assembled leaders. "We need to convene an emergency session of the Galactic Council," she announced. "Nexus is awakening, and the galaxy needs to be ready." The stage was set for a confrontation that would determine not just the fate of Nexus and humanity, but the future of the entire galaxy. As Chen prepared for the most important diplomatic mission of her life, she couldn't help but marvel at how far humanity had come. They had reached for the stars hoping to prove themselves, and now found themselves as the protectors of a cosmic wonder and the champions of a new galactic order. The challenges ahead were daunting, but Chen felt a surge of pride and determination. Whatever came next, humanity would face it with courage, compassion, and the unshakable belief that in the vast, complex tapestry of galactic life, every thread, no matter how strange or small, was precious. Human perseverance and adaptation. The emergency session of the Galactic Council was unlike anything Dr. Samantha Chen had ever experienced. Representatives from hundreds of alien species crowded the vast chamber, their voices a cacophony of clicks, whistles, and rumbles. At the center of it all stood Chen, ready to present humanity's case and the latest developments from Nexus. As she took her place at the podium, a hush fell over the assembled delegates. Chen took a deep breath and began. Esteemed members of the Galactic Council, we stand at a pivotal moment in our shared history. Nexus, the living planet we have sworn to protect, is undergoing a transformation that could reshape our understanding of cosmic life. She went on to explain the changes occurring within Nexus, careful to emphasize both the potential benefits and the risks. As she spoke, holographic displays showed the latest data from Commander Harper's team. We do not know what Nexus will become, Chen concluded, but we do know this. It is a unique form of life, one that deserves our protection and study, not our fear and aggression. The reaction was immediate and divided. Some species pledged their support, eager to be part of this unprecedented discovery. Others voiced their fears, seeing Nexus as a potential threat to galactic stability. The Zarkonian representative, Valor, rose to speak. His once melodious voice now held an edge of steel. The humans speak of protection, but they cannot comprehend the forces they are dealing with. Nexus is not a wonder to be studied, it is a threat that must be contained. Murmurs of agreement rippled through parts of the chamber. Chen realized that the Zarkonians had been busy, cultivating allies and spreading their narrative. Just as the debate seemed to be turning against Earth, Chen's communication device buzzed urgently. It was a message from Nexus. Her eyes widened as she read it, then a smile spread across her face. Esteemed delegates, she announced, cutting through the rising noise. I have just received word from our team on Nexus. The planet wishes to address the Council directly. Stunned silence fell over the chamber. Chen nodded to a technician, and suddenly the vast screens that surrounded the Council chamber came to life. What appeared was not an image or a video, but a swirling pattern of colors and light. It pulsed and shifted, somehow conveying emotions and concepts directly into the minds of the watching delegates. Fear, curiosity, hope, a deep longing for understanding. The feelings washed over the assembly. Many delegates gasped or stumbled, overwhelmed by the alien consciousness reaching out to them. As the display faded, Chen stepped forward again. Nexus has shown us its heart, she said softly. It seeks not to threaten, but to connect, to learn and grow alongside us all. The mood in the chamber had shifted dramatically. Even those species most opposed to Nexus seemed shaken, their certainties challenged by this direct contact. Vilo, however, was not swayed. Pretty lights and feelings do not change the fact that this entity poses an unprecedented risk. The Zarkonian Empire will not stand idly by while. He was cut off as alarms blared throughout the chamber. A junior Zarkonian official rushed to Vala's side, whispering urgently in his ear. Vala's multifaceted eyes widened in shock. Chen's device buzzed again. This time, it was Commander Harper, his face grim but determined. Dr. Chen, he reported, we've detected a massive Zarkonian fleet entering the Nexus system. They're not here to talk. The chamber erupted into chaos. Chen's voice cut through the din, amplified by the Council's systems. The Zarkonians have launched an unprovoked attack on Nexus. We call upon all peaceful species to stand with us in its defense. What followed was a flurry of activity unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Ships from dozens of species converged on Nexus, forming an impromptu defense fleet. Earth deployed every vessel it could muster, with Commander Harper coordinating the planet-side defenses. The battle that ensued was epic in scale. The Zarkonian fleet, vast and technologically advanced, clashed with the diverse but determined Allied forces. In orbit, and on the surface of Nexus, the fate of the living planet hung in the balance. Throughout the conflict, Harper and his team worked tirelessly to communicate with Nexus, guiding its defensive actions. The planet responded with increasing sophistication, its storms and energy bursts becoming more focused and effective. Dr. Rodriguez, monitoring Nexus's core, noticed something extraordinary. The battle. It's accelerating the planet's evolution, she exclaimed. It's learning, adapting at an incredible rate. As the fighting reached its peak, Nexus did something that left even Harper's seasoned team in awe. The planet's entire surface began to shift and reform. Mountains rose and fell, oceans drained and filled, and the very continents themselves moved like pieces on a cosmic chessboard. In space, Allied ships watched in amazement as Nexus reshaped itself, becoming a form that defied easy categorization, part planet, part ship, part living organism. The Zarkonian fleet, caught off guard by this transformation, found their carefully planned assault thrown into disarray. Their weapons, designed to attack a planetary body, proved less effective against Nexus's new, more dynamic form. Taking advantage of the Zarkonians' confusion, the Allied fleet pressed their attack. Ship after ship of the once mighty Zarkonian armada fell or retreated. As the last of the Zarkonian ships fled the system, a cheer went up from the Allied fleet. On Nexus's surface, Harper's team celebrated their victory, even as they marveled at the changed landscape around them. But their jubilation was short-lived. As the dust of battle settled, they realized that Nexus's transformation was not yet complete. The planet was still changing, its new form consuming energy at an incredible rate. "It's preparing for something," Dr. Tanaka observed, her voice filled with wonder and trepidation. But what? Back at the Galactic Council, Dr. Chen received the news of victory with mixed emotions. They had won the battle, but the war was far from over. The Zarkonians, though defeated, were not destroyed, and Nexus's continued evolution presented a new set of challenges and potential dangers. As she prepared to address the Council once more, Chen reflected on how far humanity had come. They had entered the galactic stage as newcomers, eager to prove themselves. Now, they stood as defenders of a cosmic marvel, leaders in a coalition of species united by a shared wonder at the mysteries of the universe. The path ahead was uncertain, filled with challenges they could scarcely imagine, but Chen felt a sense of hope and determination. Whatever the future held, humanity would face it with courage, adaptability, and an unwavering commitment to understanding and protecting the incredible diversity of life among the stars. As she stepped up to the podium, ready to chart a new course for Earth and its allies, Chen knew that their greatest adventures and their greatest challenges was still to come, the final push. In the aftermath of the battle, Nexus pulsed with an energy unlike anything the human team had ever seen. The planet's surface, once a hellscape of toxic storms, had transformed into a shimmering landscape of crystalline structures and swirling energy fields. Commander Jack Harper stood at the entrance of their makeshift base, now perched atop a newly formed mountain of iridescent rock. "Status report," he called out to his team, his voice tight with a mix of exhaustion and anticipation. Dr. Elena Rodriguez approached, her eyes never leaving the holographic display projecting from her wrist device. "The energy readings are off the charts, Commander. Nexus isn't just evolving, it's preparing for something big." Dr. Yuki Tanaka joined them, her usually calm demeanor replaced by barely contained excitement. "I think I figured it out," she said breathlessly. "All this energy, the transformation, Nexus is preparing to move." Harper's eyebrows shot up. "Move, you mean?" Tanaka nodded. "I believe Nexus is about to become fully mobile, a living, planet-sized spaceship." The implications were staggering. A planet capable of interstellar travel could reshape the balance of power in the galaxy. No wonder the Zarkonians had been so determined to destroy it. As the team grappled with this revelation, an urgent communication came through from Dr. Chen at the Galactic Council. "Commander, we've got a problem." Chen's holographic form flickered into view, her face etched with concern. "Our long-range sensors have detected multiple Zarkonian fleets converging on Nexus. They're pulling out all the stops for one final assault." Harper's jaw clenched. "How long do we have?" "Less than 48 hours, Chen replied grimly. "We're mobilizing every ally we can, but they might not get here in time," Harper finished. He turned to his team. "All right, people. We've got less than 2 days to prepare Nexus for the fight of its life, and possibly help it take its first steps as a mobile entity." The next 48 hours were a blur of frantic activity. On Nexus, Harper's team worked around the clock, pushing their communication with the planet to new levels. They guided Nexus in focusing its energy, helping it understand the concept of propulsion and navigation. Dr. Rodriguez repurposed their remaining equipment to create a makeshift shield generator, hoping to provide Nexus with an extra layer of defense. Dr. Tanaka delved deep into the planet's evolving biology, searching for ways to accelerate its transformation. In space, Earth's fleet, along with ships from their alien allies, took up defensive positions around Nexus. Dr. Chen coordinated the efforts from a hastily assembled command center on one of Earth's largest vessels. As the deadline approached, tension mounted. The first wave of the Zarkonian assault arrived ahead of schedule, a swarm of automated attack drones designed to weaken Nexus's defenses. The Allied fleet engaged the drones, filling space with a dazzling display of weapons fire. On Nexus's surface, Harper's team activated their shield generator. A shimmering dome of energy enveloped the planet, deflecting the drones that made it past the fleet's defenses. But it was only the beginning. As the main Zarkonian fleet approached, it became clear that they had committed every ship, every resource to this final attack. The sky above Nexus filled with enemy vessels, their weapons charging for a devastating barrage. In that moment of crisis, Nexus did something unexpected. The planet's surface began to glow, pulsing with a blinding light that forced everyone, human, alien ally, and Zarkonian alike, to shield their eyes. When the light faded, Nexus had changed once again. Its entire form had coalesced into a more defined shape, still planet-sized, but now unmistakably a vessel. Massive energy conduits crisscrossed its surface, pulsing with power. Before anyone could react, Nexus moved. Not the slow drift of a planetary body, but a sudden, purposeful acceleration. It shot forward, directly towards the heart of the Zarkonian fleet. "It's attacking." Chen's voice crackled over the comms, a mix of awe and alarm. Harper watched in amazement as Nexus engaged the enemy. The living planet ship unleashed energy beams of unprecedented power, cutting through Zarkonian defenses like they were paper. Storms formed in the vacuum of space, electromagnetic tempests that disabled entire squadrons of enemy ships. The Allied fleet, recovering from their shock, moved to support Nexus. Earth vessels flew in close formation with ships of a dozen alien designs, all united in defense of the extraordinary being they had sworn to protect. As the battle raged, Harper's team worked frantically to maintain their connection with Nexus. Through their makeshift communication array, they could sense the planet's determination, its fierce desire to survive and to protect those who had stood by it. The Zarkonian fleet, despite its numerical superiority, found itself outmatched. Ship after ship fell to Nexus's awesome powers or the combined efforts of the Allied forces. Those that could fled, jumping to hyperspace in a desperate bid to escape. As the last enemy ships disappeared from sensors, a cheer went up across the Allied fleet. On Nexus's surface, Harper's team embraced, tears of joy and relief streaming down their faces. But their celebration was cut short as Nexus began to pulse with energy once more. The planet ship's newly formed propulsion systems flared to life, and it began to move with purpose. "It's leaving the system," Dr. Rodriguez announced, her voice filled with wonder. Harper opened a channel to Dr. Chen. "Are you seeing this?" "We are," Chen confirmed. Any idea where it's going? Before Harper could respond, he felt a surge of something. Not quite a voice, but a clear communication from Nexus itself. Images and emotions flooded his mind, a sense of gratitude, of kinship, but also of a journey that must be undertaken alone. It's thanking us, Harper said softly. But it needs to go, to find others like itself, I think, to understand what it truly is and what it can become. As Nexus accelerated, preparing to leave the system that had been its home for eons, Harper felt a bittersweet mix of pride and sadness. They had done it. They had protected Nexus, helped it evolve, and now it was ready to forge its own path among the stars. Dr. Chen's voice came over the comms once more, addressing not just Harper's team, but the entire Allied fleet. Today, we've witnessed something unprecedented in galactic history. We've seen the birth, or perhaps the awakening, of a cosmic entity. And in helping Nexus, we've discovered something about ourselves as well. She paused, her voice thick with emotion. We've shown that when we stand together, when we choose understanding over fear, protection over destruction, we can achieve the impossible. This is not an end, but a beginning. A new chapter for all of us in this vast, wondrous universe. As Nexus vanished into the depths of space, Harper and his team watched in awe. They had come to this planet to prove humanity's worth, to secure a place among the galactic community. Instead, they had become part of something far greater, guardians of a cosmic wonder, catalysts for a change that would reshape the galaxy. Whatever challenges lay ahead, Harper knew that humanity was ready to face them. With allies at their side and the memory of Nexus to inspire them, they would continue to explore, to learn, and to protect the incredible diversity of life among the stars. The adventure, it seemed, was only just beginning. Victory and its consequences. In the weeks following Nexus's departure, the galaxy buzzed with activity and speculation. The defeat of the Zarkonian fleet and the emergence of a sentient, mobile planet ship had sent shockwaves through every corner of known space. Dr. Samantha Chen found herself at the center of the diplomatic whirlwind. As Earth's ambassador to the Galactic Council, she worked tirelessly to navigate the complex aftermath of their victory. In a grand chamber on a neutral world, Chen addressed representatives from hundreds of species. The events surrounding Nexus have opened our eyes to new possibilities, she began. But they have also exposed deep-seated fears and conflicts within our galactic community. It is time for us to chart a new course, one of cooperation, understanding, and shared discovery. Her words resonated with many, but challenges remained. The Zarkonians, though defeated, were not destroyed. Their empire, while diminished, still held significant power in certain sectors of the galaxy. Meanwhile, Commander Jack Harper and his team had returned to Earth as heroes. Their experiences on Nexus had transformed them, giving them unique insights into the nature of cosmic life and consciousness. At a high-level briefing with Earth's leaders, Harper laid out his vision for the future. Nexus taught us that life in this universe is more diverse and incredible than we ever imagined, he explained. We need to be ready for more discoveries like this. We need to position ourselves not just as explorers, but as guardians of cosmic diversity. His proposal was ambitious. The creation of a new Earth-led initiative called the Cosmic Life Protection and Research Agency, CLPRA. Its mission would be to seek out, study, and protect unique forms of life throughout the galaxy. The idea gained traction quickly, not just on Earth, but among their alien allies as well. Many species, inspired by humanity's role in the Nexus affair, pledged their support and resources to the initiative. As preparations for CLPRA got underway, Dr. Elena Rodriguez made a startling discovery. Analyzing the final data transmitted from Nexus before its departure, she found something extraordinary. It left us a gift, she announced to Harper and the team. A map of sorts. Coordinates to other potential living planets scattered across the galaxy. The implications were enormous. If Nexus wasn't unique, if there were other sentient planets out there, It could reshape their understanding of the universe and their place in it. Harper immediately took this information to Dr. Chen and Earth's leadership. The decision was unanimous. Earth would lead an expedition to investigate these coordinates, under the banner of the newly formed CLPRA. As news of this mission spread, it sparked a new wave of excitement and scientific fervor across Earth and its allied worlds. Volunteers from dozens of species signed up, eager to be part of this unprecedented journey of discovery. But not everyone viewed these developments with enthusiasm. In the shadows of the galaxy, the remnants of the Zarkonian Empire seethed with resentment. They saw humanity's rising influence as a threat to the old order, an order they were determined to restore. On a distant, shadowy world, Vila, now stripped of his official titles but still wielding considerable influence, met with a group of like-minded individuals from various species. The humans and their allies think they have ushered in a new era of peace and discovery, he hissed. But they have merely opened Pandora's box. These living planets, if they truly exist, are too powerful to be left unchecked. We must find them first, harness their power, or destroy them if we cannot control them. Thus, even as humanity and its allies prepared for a grand expedition of peaceful exploration, the seeds of a new conflict were being sown. The race to find and determine the fate of these cosmic wonders had begun. Back on Earth, oblivious to these looming threats, the mood was one of optimism and anticipation. In a sprawling new facility built to house CLPRA, Commander Harper addressed the first class of recruits, a diverse group of humans and aliens united by their passion for discovery and protection. When we set out to prove ourselves to the galaxy, Harper began, his voice carrying throughout the auditorium, we had no idea where that journey would lead us. We thought we were embarking on a simple terraforming mission. Instead, we found ourselves at the heart of a cosmic awakening. He paused, looking out at the eager faces before him. The road ahead will not be easy. We will face challenges we can't even imagine yet. But I promise you this, every step of the way, we will strive to embody the lessons Nexus taught us. We will approach the unknown not with fear, but with wonder. We will defend life in all its forms, no matter how strange or different it may seem. As Harper's words rang out, Dr. Chen stood at the back of the auditorium, a smile on her face. She thought back to that first contact with the Zarkonians, how eager they had been to prove humanity's worth. Now, Earth stood as a leader in the galaxy, not through conquest or technological superiority, but through compassion, adaptability, and an unwavering commitment to understanding the cosmos and all its inhabitants. The journey that had begun with Nexus was far from over. New adventures, new discoveries, and new challenges lay ahead. But Chen felt confident that humanity, together with their alien allies, was ready to face whatever the universe had in store. As the assembly concluded and the recruits filed out, buzzing with excitement about their upcoming mission, Chen stepped forward to join Harper on the stage. Together, they looked out at the bustling activity of the CLPRA facility, a symbol of humanity's new role in the galaxy. Ready for the next chapter? Chen asked, a glint of adventure in her eyes. Harper nodded, his face set with determination and hope. Always. The universe is waiting, and we've got a lot more to discover. As they turned to leave, preparing for the monumental expedition that lay ahead, both felt a sense of profound gratitude. The challenge that was meant to prove humanity's worth had done far more than that. It had revealed the true nature of their species, adaptable, compassionate, and capable of rising to meet even the most extraordinary circumstances. Whatever the future held, Earth and its allies would face it together, guided by the lessons of Nexus and the enduring spirit of discovery that had led them to the stars in the first place. The end of one chapter was just the beginning of an even greater adventure, and humanity, once newcomers to the galactic stage, was ready to lead the way into a future filled with wonders beyond imagination.